G'day and welcome everyone. Welcome to Australia. So when we look at Australia, or when most people think about Australia, what do you think about? There's lots of icons. We've got everything from sports crazed athletes with no helmets. You've got supermodels, actors, actresses, and some of the deadliest animals in the entire world. So it's a pretty tough place to live. I mean, down under, it must be something when you cross the equator. It all changes. But seriously, as a market though, it's quite a sophisticated and a very different market to play in. So what I want to do is give you a little bit of insight just into really, who Australians really are. So, I mean, Australians are very independent. We're a very strong, independent group of people. And it's very culturally diverse as well. In the last 30 years, there's people from all over the world moving to Australia, one for lifestyle, two just for work as well. And what we're finding is the diversity of culture has really changed the way that we work and the way that we communicate. From a communication point of view and a marketing, you really need to get to the point. We like to be not necessarily totally direct, but the market can be quite cynical. So when you're advertising your messages, you need to disclose quite early on what you're trying to say. We also adopt change quite fast as well. I mean, because of our geography, we're a long way away from the rest of the world, so we like to know what's going on in the world, and we want to contribute to that as well. So that sort of led to us really adopting the web very, very early on, and also mobile as well. So currently we've got 92% of the country or households with a mobile device. And now the country is all 3G enabled. So what you're seeing is a massive increase in what we're consuming through mobile. Also from the technology point of view, Australia's been one of those countries where it's very good for launching new technology and using it as a testing ground. And major companies for a long time now have been using Australia to develop these technologies. So that's really flourished, and our broadband penetration is at 83% now as well. So massive increase in digital spend, massive increase in what we're consuming. So content is really important to create down under. And probably like the States, we've got an aging population, so over 55s is the fastest growing demographic, and it's really interesting in that they're consuming digital like there's no tomorrow. My mum is on SMS all day. It's incredible. And another thing to note, we do see ourselves as part of Asia as well. We are an extension of Asia. We are in the Asia-Pacific region, and Australian companies have been working in Asia for quite some time. So it's a very good footprint for other countries or other Western countries to work closely with Asia. So what does this mean from a marketing point of view? It can be quite difficult. It can be quite difficult to market in Australia. So what you find is that Australians like to create their own content. Localizing global accounts can be really tricky. We're not that accepting of a major, obvious global campaign. Obviously, we like global brands, but if it's really obviously global and it's not localized correctly, you just won't get the cut through that you're wanting. Also, for a long time, products are manufactured. They've had this thing saying, made in Australia, Australian owned. Because we're that little country, we're trying to get up. That's across everything. So it's a big loyalty for Australian products. Not necessarily in computers and electronics, but certainly in manufacturing cars. Ford and Holden in Australia are the classic Australian car, and they still outperform all others. Also, marketing to regional versus metro is completely different. I mean, marketing to Sydney, Melbourne, etc., major cities, most of our population is major cities, as opposed to marketing in far north Queensland. But talking to someone in far north Queensland is quite unusual anyway. Also, the market's quite ferocious. I mean, it's quite a small population, but we've got all the major players there. We've got all the tier 1 advertisers as well, and it's a pretty cutthroat market to actually get the share of voice out there as well. And our regulations are really high. Our Anti-Spam Act is one of the highest in the world. Domain name control is very high, so you actually have to have a registered business name to purchase a .com.au, for example, as well as keywords, very highly regulated. So you've just got to be aware of all of this when you're running that campaign. So what I wanted to do is just go through a couple of examples of how we sort of manifest this in our work. So We favour a lot of viral and social networking. We've seen a lot of that in the last day as well. But these are areas which we sort of specialise in and do quite a lot. And as I said before, we avoid the obvious global campaigns. So I'll show you an example of that. And also the projects are very diverse. You'll see quite a variety of things happening down under. So I've just got a couple of screenshots here I've just got to go through. The first one is a next-gen campaign for Xbox 360. And we call it What's In. So it was a social networking example of trying to get the community to tell us what's happening, what's in, what's out, what are we all interested. And at the heart of that, we created a 6-part video mini-series. It was high definition, starting off in 3x4 and going to 16:9, just sort of show the evolution of next gen, about two ordinary guys, living at home with their Xbox 360, and call it Two Men in a Box. So it was really successful. And then we had a whole series of partners. So we had General Motors, we had Expedia, Samsung, etc. And linked the partners up to create this amazing prize pool. So the community got behind it, the partners got behind it, and we got the advertiser, the Xbox, a lot of extra advertising revenue as well. So, really successful ways of doing it, and really sort of local content as well. The second example is Unilever. Now, we've been working with Unilever now for just over a year, and it's incredible to see how fast they're adopting this platform. This is an example of a global campaign, believe it or not. They relaunched the brand last year for Sunsilk, and but as part of that, they felt that from an Australian point of view, we actually needed a much more immersive experience, something truly digital, and something quite unique just to this space. So we took this on board of creating something out of an idea or an experience rather than just doing a big global push. So My Wingman was an example of a site where we created a series of virtual avatars. These are all little 3D rendered characters. You can check this out on the web now. And it's got an artificial intelligent engine behind it. So you can talk to these characters, set up your own Dr. Dream site, for example, and have a conversation with this person. And they'll link you up to other partner sites, give you hair care tips, let you know about online dating and things like that. And as well as this, there was a bunch of other viral components, one of which was send your friend on a spoof virtual date. So they would receive an email from them saying, you've got a virtual date. And the engagement levels were huge. We had people up to 6 hours talking to a computer. They thought they were on a date, and they were actually talking to a computer. So it's really hilarious, really funny reading the log files. And the last example I just want to show you is an example of a hype campaign. I mean, they're really diverse. This is the world's largest water balloon fight. So it was on Coogee Beach in Sydney, and the Xbox 360 logo there is actually 5,000 people waiting to unleash hell. And so we took these photos. So we ran all the web components. There was 20 different online activities, multi-threaded, all feeding each other, and then linking it to street teams, a lot of outdoor executions as well, and then a major event on that. So the types of work you can do is really diverse and a lot of fun. So that's sort of it for me. I'm not going to take as much time, but thanks very much.